So nearby...
Nearby Lucas.
Yeah, I was about to say, so nearby Lucas, so what do you know about the B-boy stancing alien tentacle monster known as Shuma-Gorath?
I know that he's in Marvel vs. Capcom 2 and that he's awesome.
Yeah. Right, so nearby Lucas, as we alluded to, today we're talking about Shuma-Gorath from Marvel Comics. A link to the specific wiki we're using can be found below. But before that, Lucas, what do you know about some Shuma-Gorath?
You know, he's got lots of tentacles and one big old eye.
Yeah, and that's about it really, isn't it? Because my knowledge of this character is based entirely on his inclusion in the Marvel vs. Capcom series. But you mentioned like he has like a cameo of sorts in a Marvel property that was released recently.
Yeah, so it's alluded to the fact that he's in the Marvel Universe in What If, where all you see is green tentacles and you don't actually know what they're from, but presumably it's Shuma-Gorath.
Yeah, and you know what? For folks at home, like myself and Lucas, who are not too familiar with Shuma-Gorath, join us as we cover his wikis. We have here a quote from Shuma-Gorath, which sounds, oh my god, this is so metal. Before all was, I was. Before time was, I waited. I fed on the screaming souls of the universe. I drank the spoiled milk of dead stars. I am the emptiness outside of all understanding. I am Shuma-Gorath.
Holy mother of God, that's a quote.
That is metal as fuck, and the only thing I know him for is just doing Mystic Ray combos and his stupid B-boy stance. I should clarify that, like, Shuma-Gorath is in the Marvel vs. Capcom series, and after one of his supers, he just crosses what would amount to his arms and just looks really smug, and I started to call it the B-boy stance. Yeah. He just stands like, yeah, I didn't know, he's eating stars. Oh my god, his aliases is like an entire paragraph.
Oh my god, let's go.
So folks at home, pads and pencils at the ready, because we're going to give you some free band names right now. So name, Shuma-Gorath, aliases, All Killer of the Dawn. That's the first one! Conqueror of Midnight. Oh, I'm calling that one.
Yeah.
Evil One Who Sleeps, the Father of all evil, the God Who Sleeps, the Great One Who Slumbers, the Greatest of the Old Ones. Oh, so he's just Cthulhu. He's Marvel's Cthulhu. He who sleeps but shall not wake. He who sleeps but shall awaken. So something bad. Do you know what that is? That's when your dad's on nights. He who sleeps but shall not awaken. He who sleeps but shall soon awake.
Oh, God.
Him who lies sleeping, Lord Gorath, Mr. Tentacles, Shakalaka Shuma, the Sleeping One, the Unclosing Eye, the Void Made Flesh.
Oh.
The Void, I'd buy their album. Yeah. I'd give it a listen. I'd be scared to have it as like the background on my phone, but I'd listen to it a little bit. The Withering Devourer, the Writhing Devourer, possibly Cthulhu-Gorath.
See, the one I want to know about is Shakalaka Shuma, because...
Not Mr. Tentacles.
No.
Not Mr. Tentacles.
All I'm thinking about is Shuma-Gorath in NBA Jam on Fire Edition.
Oh, he'd be
and
so
doing like
good.
a dunk and doing the B-boy stance after the dunk.
Oh man, he's got like 8 basketballs. He dunks them all at once. And he's just like, he's dunking on like Hillary Clinton. And then his affiliations, the Great Old Ones, the Many Angled Ones, the Department of Eternal Suffering. What?
I like how they've got a department for that.
Well, that's the thing. One of my favourite interpretations of hell is that it's just a bureaucracy. Mm-hmm. Like, do you know in the game Hades?
Yes.
Where all Hades does is fucking paperwork, because that's what hell is. It's paperwork.
He's just sat at the desk with his giant pile of papers.
So much of the suffering there is because of bureaucracy. It's like, well... this guy has been like, having his liver pecked out for eons. It's like, well, we lost the paperwork. It got lost in a shuffle. There's a lot of people died.
It's like, Zagreus, go back to your job in the paper room. It's, oh man, Dad.
And like, you dig up like contracts of people who've been suffering for millennia. It's like, I think they've paid their dues now.
No, 10 million more years, Karl.
The Department of Eternal Suffering.
That's so good.
And Lucas, are you curious to find out how powerful the Lord of the Many Angled Ones is?
Yeah, I am, because all I know really is like in the Marvel games where it's just purple, nondescript eye laser.
He's also, as well, really low tier because he's so difficult to use. And the only purpose he has on any team that I've ever built is letting me do more Spider-Man web throw combos.
First attack! Air combo! Web throw! Spider stick! Crossover attack! Web throw!
So Lucas, powers. Shuma-Gorath was a powerful, sometimes stated to be omnipotent and ancient demon that possesses vast supernatural powers. He is considered to be one of the primal powers of chaos and the greatest of the old ones. In his native dimension, he is unstoppable.
Is that the reasoning behind it? Like, he's not in his own dimension, so
The
he's a bit
chaos
weaker?
dimension, yeah. And it says here, it is unknown if he can ever truly be killed. Well, they're talking about in the past tense, so I'm guessing the answer is yes. Like, when you're talking about someone in the past tense saying they might come back, it's like, well, not yet.
Nope. Just when they need to revive him for another comic book storyline.
Yeah, hopefully another one soon, because he sounds rad as fuck.
Yeah.
Because I was just thinking, oh, dumb Tentacle Man, he's proven like a joke character. It's like, no, he's like one of the scariest things we've ever covered. And then like for his power grid, for anyone curious, that's a ranking system 1 to 7, 7 being nigh omnipotent, 1 being an average human. Shuma-Gorath is a 7 in strength, speed, and durability.
Oh. What are his other ones then?
Intelligence is a 3, energy projection is a 6, and fighting skills are a 2. Then again, it's a fucking giant octopus.
Yeah.
You ever seen that footage of like divers underwater getting their shit wrecked by an octopus?
I haven't, but I imagine that's scary as hell.
They grab their masks and pull them off because they think it's funny. Because the octopuses think it's funny.
Just-
Among his many mystical powers is the ability to communicate with and control others both within his vicinity and across all dimensional barriers. He can direct and control powerful blasts of mystical energy, usually from his eye, although he can sometimes do it from his tentacles, and affect transmutations on a planetary scale. And he's low tier in Marvel.
But how do you translate that to a 2D fighting game? You know
Mystic Stare. Mystic Stare, baby. Huh, his skin is rubbery and armoured. That seems a bit oxymoronic, that doesn't it? He's rubbery and
Slimy armor, Karl.
making him difficult to damage except by the most powerful of magics. Though he often appears as a scaly being with 6 to 8 tentacles and a great central eye, during the Hyborian age he was seen to have numerous pincers, claws and insectoid limbs. Oh, no. He could be a giant insect, no. You know what? Don't put him in comics or films. I don't want to see giant spider Shuma-Gorath.
I do.
I'll only accept it if it's like that scene in The Simpsons where Homer gets attacked by the giant spider and throws a rock at it.
Oh, God.
It is stated by the Vision that Shuma-Gorath exists on many planes, and thus his true form cannot be seen by humans. So very Cthulhu-esque. Like to gaze upon him would be madness. Presumably, he can alter the form people see him as to his will. According to Shuma-Gorath himself, he is nothing except his power, and his form is merely a shell that contains it. That's a badass quote,
That really is.
Mr.
And
Tentacles.
I love the fact, though, that my form is merely just what you see of me. I get to choose whatever you see, and he still goes for just one big eye and lots of green tentacles.
You don't need the one eye. You don't need depth perception when you can exist in all planes of reality at once. His size seems to be related to his powers. He is truly gigantic in his home dimension. On Earth, he has always appeared substantially smaller, though it's confirmed that only the smallest part of Shuma-Gorath's essence manifests itself on Earth. Thus, he has only ever been seen at full power within his home dimension.
Right, yeah, so basically Shuma-Gorath needs to take Doctor Strange into the Chaos Dimension or wherever it is and have a fight there.
The thing is, though, you can actually have Doctor Strange versus Shuma-Gorath in Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
You actually can, yeah.
And Doctor Strange is super fucking good in that game because he got the impact palm.
Oh,
And
God.
I will say as well, he probably has one of the best teabag animations of any character in the game because he goes from full standing into full, like, just cross-legged crouch. The power of Shuma-Gorath is such he can destroy multiple galaxies solely through his presence.
Fucking hell.
Shuma-Gorath also has the ability to destroy realities by using all of his tentacles to create a ball of energy, which he fires at the reality itself. So he can attack just the concept of the reality he exists within at that point in time. Then we have here, Shuma-Gorath is considered by some to be the Cthulhu of Marvel. So it is like more blatantly. And then finally, Death has referred to Shuma-Gorath with gender-neutral pronouns. That's the thing. When a fucking writhing mass of tentacles from a chaos dimension rocks up and starts b-boy styling on your arsehole, you're not going to know what that... All you know is that you got served really hard.
Yeah.
You don't know by what.
Tentacles.
Exactly, that's all you need to know. What did you see? Tentacles.
And one giant eye.
And one giant eye. I'm not sure I saw a penis, though. Because I think that's the last thing you'd be looking for, innit? And then trivia. In Marvel vs. Capcom 3, Fate of Two Worlds, Shuma-Gorath seems to have a strange attraction for Hisenko, and Morrigan seems to be attracted to Shuma's, and I quote, strong tentacles, saying that she hopes the party's just getting started.
Morrigan going for it.
She's a succubus.
I know, but like that's the thing. Succubus not limited to any form. Just I'll take the tentacles.
The tentacles are good. And it's like, it is known that, and this is one of the things that I adore about Marvel vs. Capcom 3. During discussions to determine what characters would be in Marvel vs. Capcom 3, Capcom readily conceded to any refusal made for certain characters by Marvel, such as Venom. However, when Marvel refused the inclusion of Shuma-Gorath, a character no fucker had ever heard of at that point, Capcom vehemently protested, demanding that they be allowed to include him. And the story behind this is that when Marvel license out their characters to other companies, they let them look through what they call the Marvel Bible, which includes every notable character to appear in the comics over the last 50 or so years. And Capcom were looking through this for ideas for who they could include in Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Saw Shuma-Gorath and like, that guy looks fucking rad, let's put him in.
Yeah, we don't know what this thing is, but it looks cool.
Yeah, it looks like we can build an interesting move set around it. And then every time, like, Marvel's like, well, do you not want to? No, we refuse to budge, we want Shuma-Gorath. And then they put him in. And he's shit. And he's terrible, no one plays him.